we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on the mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we getting it. Big old booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedity, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask her about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tennis. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. Seen some thousands, now I'm out to some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no committing. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on the mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
Stall out them pint bottles, I green the crib. I poured so much I ain't wanna live. Told money then, shit we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin. Since a young nigga, I been ready. Went glass house on every Chevy. In this game, I tried plenty settings. It's all or nothing. How niggas been. Got sucker niggas, keep suckers with them. One of the reasons I ain't fucking with them. Trish taking some more than her. Guess she couldn't even afford a winner. I'm open late, don't need a scale, and it's always open. Sneak wishing well, I double down, slick shit to spell. Shawty know I don't kiss and tell. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. Hell, I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins, and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spent some night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Cover bag, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins, and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spent some night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
There we go, chat. That There we go, chat. What we doing tonight, chat? What we doing tonight? Y'all locked away. OG, what it do? Big Niche, what it do? Y'all locked away, man.
To the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Jason, what it do, man? What we doing tonight, chat? Are we locked, man? Are we locked in, chat? What we doing, man?
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut live out. What we doing tonight, chat? They say a hit dog hollers. Avoid. Hold on, chat. I forgot what I put the damn title is, man. I forgot what avoid conforming at all costs. Trump moves on Iran, and we got Hillary tells her side of the story. Chat, we double tap the screen, shut live out, man. We got an action-packed episode tonight, man. I don't care if you far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, alien, NPC. Get your ass in. We finna have no conversation tonight. So call your auntie, uncle, and your cousin. Tell them plug live, and he running his mouth, man. Chat, what do we got? What do we got on the lineup tonight, chat? What do we got, man? Let me see. Oh, this clip I got above me. It's a teacher telling about this experiment he did with his kids in classroom. We got coffee shops using AI to track the productivity of the baristas and how much time customers are spending in the shop. We got a kid testing his teacher's diamond rings. Also, we have the Pentagon is now calling Claude a threat to national security, man. So we'll get into that as well. We're going to talk about the SAVE Act a little bit. They're on Mom Donnie's ass right now. Mom Donnie's talking about trying to get the spinning together over there in New York City. Also, they're saying all of that snow melted and left behind piles of shit, man. I don't know how to say it. Poop, doo-doo, whatever. Piles of shit. Also, they're saying around City Field, the neighborhoods going around City Field are deteriorating. They got auto shops under the bridges, all kind of wild shit going on, Chad. I'm not going to lie. How do I feel about Mike Tyson and the Mayweather fight? What the hell is going on with Mike Tyson and the Mayweather fight? I don't know anything about that. Oh, coming up. I haven't seen that. All right, chat. What else do we got? We got JD Vance's interview, and we got Sneako and Adin Ross getting into a debate. So we'll probably, if we have time, check out the Adin Ross Sneako debate. Parents in Canada. We were talking about that MAID program where people could be euthanized. Euthanized via their own hand. Oh, well, I guess via a doctor and not by their own hand. So this guy, he was 26 and chose to end his own life in Canada's medical assistance and dying program. So we'll get into that as well. And his parents spoke out. And Trump's on Air Force One yesterday, he did a gaggle. Chat, double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. What do y'all got going on tonight? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What's up, Long Bone? No Diddy, man. What's going on, Big Niche? What we doing tonight, chat? Let's get into this clip right here. This is a teacher talking about an experiment he ran with his students. I thought it was pretty cool, and it said a lot. It actually said a lot.
Time a kid speaks in my class, I have to give them a detention. This was a rule the students made, and this is how it happened. George Washington warned in his farewell address, don't create political parties and don't let other countries influence your government. And my kids just weren't clicking with it. So I divided them in two groups. I told them in their groups to create whatever law they thought would make their lives better. And then I said, pick one person per group to go in the hallway and discuss with me these rules, and we'll pass them. And they were so excited. These class leaders got out. They said, we want to be on our phones all the time. They said, we want unlimited bathroom passes. They said so many cool things, and they were excited. I stopped them and I said, you know what, guys? I want you to pass 2 laws for me. Anyone that talks in class gets a detention. And no more bathroom passes. I said, if you just pass those 2 laws, I'll give you both an A+ on the next 2 tests. That's it. We got back in the class, and they did exactly that. They passed. Anytime you talk in my class, I have to give a detention. And everyone's face in the class went, wait, what? And they said, no more bathroom passes. And then again, are you kidding? That's not what we said. And then they were just so confused. What happened? Here's what happened. When I gave them power to make laws that would make their lives more enjoyable, better, I stepped in and I said, I will give you this if you pass whatever law I want. So then kids quickly realized, wait, it doesn't matter what we want. Those two decision-making leaders just got what they wanted, and their lives are better. And I said, exactly right. Isn't that crazy that Washington warned against letting other countries influence our decisions? Interesting. Teach that, AI.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm glad that this teacher went and did an experiment with this student. So what he did was he got the students together like, hey, y'all think of what will make this classroom awesome. You pick 2 representatives, 2 delegates. They come outside in the hallway and they, have a conversation with me. So they got out in the hallway. They were like, look, we want to be on our phones. We want headphones. We want unlimited bathroom pass. He was like, look, man, I understand y'all want all of that, but if you get these kids to just shut the hell up and not talk or ask for a bathroom pass, I'll give you an A on the next 2 tests. And the kids conform, man. This is what we see on Capitol Hill every single day, man. You said, who got blocked up out of here, man? Who got blocked up out of here? All right, chat, let's move on. We're going to get into the JD Vance right quick. I want to get into this JD Vance rather early, and then we'll circle back around to the other miscellaneous clips. Y'all double tap the screen. We got to get the likes up, man. Let's get to 100 likes in here. Y'all know I'm still fighting this shadow, man. What we doing?
We are honored to have the Vice President of the United States, JD Vance, with us in studio today, and there's a lot to talk about. Thank you very much, first of all, Mr. Vice President, for coming.
Great to be here.
It's great to have you, and I do want to get to as much as we can with you, so I'll jump right in, if I may. And I want to start with Iran, because we're watching this back and forth in Geneva, and it's happening as, I think we can put up on the screen, the impressive presence, military presence that we have in the whole area. I think it reminds people a lot of what we saw off the coast of Venezuela.
So they're saying that this reminds them a lot of what we saw off the coast of Venezuela. Well, we can look right here and see that the envoy, all of the ships that they sent out a couple weeks ago, they've made it over there. So we see them posted. We got the USS Bulkley, the USS Roosevelt, the USS Delbert, the USS McFall, the USS Mixture, the USS Michael Murphy, the USS Abraham Lincoln, the USS Sprucent, USS Frank E. Peterson Jr., and USS Pinckney. Also, they said it's about 25 to 50 planes on the way over there as well. I forgot what kind of jet or fighter jets they said was on the way over there. So it's looking like it's about to go down in Iran. Iran also said that they're something about a strike so powerful that the enemy won't be able to get up. So I don't know, man. They're also saying that they have files, they have videos of Trump with minors. Iran's supreme leader saying he has in his possession videos of Trump with minors. So we'll see how this is going to unfold.
When there was this question about whether or not we were about to take military action, it looks very much like that. You've got Iran today halting traffic in the Strait of Hormuz for a few hours. We heard the Ayatollah say, well, one of your nice warships might end up at the bottom of the sea. Where's this going?
Well, I'm obviously not going to make any announcements today. I think the president has a lot of options. We do have a very powerful military. The president's shown a willingness to use it. He also has a remarkable diplomatic team. He's shown a willingness to use that too. And so what the president has been very clear with the Iranians, and actually I just talked to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner this morning about some of their negotiations, is the United States has certain red lines. Our primary interest here is we don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. We don't want nuclear proliferation. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, there are a lot of other regimes, some friendly, some not so friendly, who would get nuclear weapons after them. That would be a disaster for the American people, because then you have these crazy regimes all over the world with the most dangerous weapons in the world, and that's one of the things the president has said he's going to prevent. Now, we would very much like, as the president has said, to resolve this through a conversation and a diplomatic negotiation, but the president has all options on the table. And one thing about the negotiation I will say this morning is, in some ways it went well. They agreed to meet afterwards, but in other ways it was very clear that the president has set some red lines that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge and work through. So we're going to keep on working it, but of course the president reserves the ability to say when he thinks that diplomacy has reached its natural end. We hope we don't get to that point, but if we do, that'll be the president's call.
Well, the president said on Friday that the best thing that could happen.
Yeah, somebody probably either he realized that he was finna spill the fucking beans, or somebody's got in his ear, because he was like, once we get to once the diplomacy is exhausted, then he was like, we don't want it to get there, and just change the subject. It's kind of crazy.
Would be regime change in Iran, and we know that that's what the Crown Prince in exile wants to see as well. He's saying, don't do an Obama in this situation. Don't make some kind of deal where we release $6 billion from Qatar and let them go along with the ballistic missile program. Don't do that again.
Well, I think the president will do what...
Chat, did y'all see where China, the company in China, released a battery, right? A battery for an electric car that charges fully in 12 minutes. I don't know how much range it has. I think it has like 400 miles range. Charges in 12 minutes. Retains 80% of its battery life after 1.5 million miles. Draw that bad boy 1.5 million miles. The battery will still hold 80% life, and it charges fully in 12 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, this shit's crazy.
What he thinks is in the best interest of the American people. I think he's shown very clearly that he is not Barack Obama. He takes a much different approach to America's national security, and he's much more willing to act aggressively to defend America's national security. But the President of the United States is very much trying to find a solution here, whether it's through...
Oh, Chad, we didn't talk about the damn jobs numbers. They came back and adjusted the jobs numbers like, I think, was it 1 million jobs last year? Oh, I'm about to get the yelling tonight. What? I forgot we didn't talk about them jobs numbers, bruh. Ooh, somebody gonna have to call in, bro. It's gonna be one of those tonight.
Diplomatic options or
Shit,
another option
I forgot.
that the Iranians cannot have a nuclear weapon. That has always been the main focus. If you go back to the campaign that he ran in 2015, the Republican primary campaign that he won, he said...
Hey, they adjusted the jobs numbers worse than the Biden administration did. I think the Biden administration did like 1 million adjustment one year, then the next year they adjusted like 800,000. Now this administration's well over 1 million. That's like 3 million jobs that they said we had brought to market over the last 3 years that just aren't fucking there. Where are they? How the fuck are we overshooting jobs by 1 million plus? I'll tell you how. Somebody fucking lying. Somebody's fucking lying, bro. What? I'm gonna pull up the data. Let's fear JD, man. What's up with them fucking jobs numbers? That's what I want to know.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I think it's very important for the American people to appreciate it's one of the most hostile and also one of the most irrational regimes in the world. You can't have people like that have the most dangerous weapon known to man. It would be awful for our security. It would be awful for the future of our children. That is the goal of the President of the United States, and he's got a lot of options and a lot of tools to make sure that doesn't happen.
They say we don't have that. We just have a peaceful program, and there's no way we're ending our peaceful nuclear program. So it's very hard to see, and you're not even mentioning the ballistic...
Private sector added 650,000 jobs. Where? Was jobs numbers just adjusted or what? Did they let Bulletproof know that they walked back them fucking jobs, man? Are y'all just sitting Bulletproof out here to talk to the American citizens without letting them know, like, hey, you know the job data a little fucked up right now, right? This shit is crazy.
Missiles or the support for the proxies, are those also things that would be part of a package in any sort of deal, or are they not on the table?
Well,
Israel wants
look, everything is on the table. We certainly want Iran to stop being a state sponsor of terrorism. They're one of the world's largest state sponsors of terrorism. There are
What's up, Purple? What's up, Sam?
National security, but the most important way they could is if they acquired a nuclear weapon, and that is the red line the President of the United States has consistently said. Yes, of course, the Iranians say that they're not interested in a nuclear weapon. We know, in fact, that's not true. They have shown a number of things that make it clear that they're interested in acquiring a nuclear weapon. Our goal is to make sure that doesn't happen. And again, the President has a lot of tools in the toolkit to make sure that doesn't happen.
So let's look at Europe for a moment. A lot of focus on the Munich security.
Does Iran need a nuclear weapon? Probably not. Is Iran going to stop trying to do their nuclear weapons program? Probably not. But I say all of this to say, I thought we set them back 20 years, bro. What the fuck happened to all of this shit that went on a few months ago, bro? The greatest airstrike in history. They flew across in the deep darkness of night, dropped straight down into the shaft, obliterated it. The greatest military actions that's happened on Earth, right? set Iran's nuclear program back 20 years, man. It's done. We don't got to worry about this shit for, to 2040 something, right? Why the fuck are we here again? Why the fuck are we here again? Do we not just say that they're pushed back 20 fucking years, bro?
Security conference. And last year, you gave a very strong speech there that got a lot of reaction. There were a lot of long faces, actually, in the crowd from the European leaders. You talked to them about borders, about free speech, about, defending yourselves for a change.
What's up, 10-4?
Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, was there, gave a speech that had a lot of similar underpinnings to it, but they were applauding, and they thought it was great. So what happened with that? Why is that the outcome?
Well, I heard somebody say that I was the bad cop so that Marco could be a good cop.
Okay.
I mean, he gave a great speech, but he drove home, I think, a very important point that the Europeans have largely forgotten, or at least had largely.
Yeah, Daryl, I'm confused, man. I'm definitely confused because I watched Trump get up there, man, for at least a fucking month, maybe 2 months, talking about the military action that we did in Iran. Dropping bombs on Iran, man. A lot of people said that, nothing was hit. The target to him is. Trump said it was obliterated, man. It was done. We're 20 years away from that. And now here we are looking at JD Vance talk about Jared Kushner and Witkoff over there trying to make this deal go through because they're trying to enrich uranium again and build these nukes.
Forgotten over the past year is that the reason why the president or Marco or me talk about borders, the reason why we talk about them spending more on their own security, the reason that we talk about them more becoming a vibrant economy again, is that we want Europe to thrive and we want Europe to succeed. The problem that we have with Europe is not that we don't like Europe, even though you hear that from the European press. It's not that we don't respect our allies. It's that they are doing a lot of things to sabotage themselves. We would like that to stop. We would like them to be an ally in the true sense of the word. And I think that's what Marco's speech very, very ably delivered. It was a great speech. I'd actually encourage people to watch it because unlike most of these speeches, which you hear a lot of slogans and a lot of cliches, he actually outlined a very smart view of American foreign policy. And it's the foreign policy we've been pursuing for about a year and a month.
The fuck do you mean it's the foreign policy we've been pursuing for about a year and a month? Man, I heard Marco Rubio get up there and say that it's a new world order, man. We got to start looking at America like basically saying, fuck, bro, we're not the world reserve currency anymore. Like 40% of the world's trading is going on outside of the U.S. dollar right now. It sounds like Marco Rubio might be the only motherfucker in the room telling the truth. It's a new world order. It's shit show, man. Right now, the reason we're in control and got this shit going on is because of the guns, man, the weaponry, man. All that fiscal shit, all of that monetary policy, all of them fake-ass jobs and shit, man. Oh, my God. Then they just injected, bro, $16 more billion into the economy. Hey, the quantitative easing is back. I told you guys this shit months ago. So once I seen Trump get up there and say, Jerome Powell needs to get the fuck out, we're about to, I told you guys, quantitative easing is coming back, man. They're about to print this shit into fucking oblivion, man. We're talking about kicking the can down the road, man. They're finna punt this shit, man. We're not even 2 months into the fucking year, man. We just had Chicago Metropolitan go down. We had Bitcoin do a fucking 50% drawback. We lost trillions in the market. And now, what the fuck do we have, bro? $16 billion injection into the fucking markets, bro. $16 billion, bro. Shit is crazy.
I mean, my sense was that they're starting to come around from when you gave that speech, and now they hear Marco Rubio's speech. It almost sounds like they feel that they also want Europe to be what it once was. We'll see if that.
I think that's true. Some of them are coming around. Some of them.
What's up, Lala?
The message is falling on deaf ears. I think it's a mixture, but I do think that we've made a lot of progress. And look, if you just go back to one of the critical things the president said when we came in is we wanted Europe to spend more on its own security. That's definitely happening. He also said he wanted Europe to protect its borders more, to actually maintain its civilizational coherence. That's happening a little bit.
Yes, I've read the Bible. I got a few Bibles over there, man. Couple of them in there too. Let's get on to this. You said the crash is coming. For sure, the crash is coming. You said you don't lose a thing because you don't gamble in the market. Listen, Chad, we're at the home prices are the most unaffordable they have been in history. Last time we had some shit like that, the market fucking tanked, bro. Tanked. 2008 crash, man. Now we're past those levels. We're way past those levels. A house, a $400,000 house used to be $1,500, right? $1,500 mortgage. That same $400,000 house is a $3,000 mortgage right now, bro. It's fucked up out here, chat. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you, man. I hate to be doom and gloom, but somebody gotta keep it all the way real with you because these people not gonna tell the fucking truth, man. It's all bad right now, bro. It's all bad right now. This shit is holding on by a fucking thread, bro. I'm telling you, man. I told y'all Bitcoin's going to 25K. Now we hear all these other people coming out talking about it's going to 40 and 30 and shit. Man, that shit's going to 25, man, and I'm standing on it, bro. Shit's finna get real fucking bad out here, man. Shit is crazy, bro. Shit's holding on by a damn thread, bro. Like a fucking thread, chat.
And he also said that he wanted Europe to take free speech more seriously, and that's also happening a little bit. So we've made a lot of progress, but frankly, we want our European allies to do a lot better. We want them to do better for their own sake, but also because we think they can be better partners in the process.
So you've said that Marco Rubio is your closest friend in the cabinet. I know you have a lot of respect for him. Here's the question that always comes up. The president was asked it on the way home on Friday. Watch this.
Marco Rubio received really positive reviews in Munich. Is there a scenario in which you would support him at the top of the ticket in 28?
Something I don't have to worry about now. I've got 3 years to go. So it's something I don't have to worry. JD's fantastic and Marco's, they're both fantastic. I think Marco did a great job in Munich.
So what goes through your mind when you hear this all the time? Because people talk about it all the time now.
I'm gonna tell y'all what goes through my mind. I think Trump saying, fuck JD, fuck Marco Rubio. Hopefully this health shit get together to where I can get me a damn robotic hip replacement, whatever the hell is going on, and I can ride it out another 4 years, man. I think Trump gives a fuck about JD or Rubio becoming president, man. Let's be honest.
I know you're going to say, oh, it's far away. But people say, well, who's going to be at the top of the ticket? Do you wish that he would just say, he's my vice president? Of course he's going to be at the top of the ticket.
Well, I think the president is very smartly saying, we've got 3 years to go. And how about everybody focuses on the job the American people elected us to do?
What's up, Ebony?
Something that is very far in the future. As you said, look, Marco is my closest friend in the administration. I think he's doing a great job for the American people. But most importantly, we all have to continue doing a good job for the American people, from the president on down. And that's what we're focused on. I think it's so interesting. The media wants to create this conflict where there just isn't any conflict. Marco's doing a great job. I'm trying to do as good of a job as I can. The president's doing a great job. We're going to keep on working.
What the fuck are you doing, JD? That's what I really want to know. What the fuck is JD doing right now? I'm just asking, Chad, like, what the fuck is JD doing right now? I know he went to the Olympics, 55 million, 150 people with him and shit. What the fuck is JD? What exactly are you doing right now? Well, you see Marco's got his hands full. Christie know him, they want her fucking job. Pam Bondi don't know whether she wants to put the fucking cup down or not. Trump's here half the time. What the fuck are you doing, JD?
Working together.
But surely, as vice president, you'd like to be president.
Would I? Well, look, I think, again, I'm going to try to do as good of a job as I can right now. So one thing is that I don't like about this question and this entire perspective is I've been in this job for all of a year. About 6 months ago, a year and 6 months ago.
And what the fuck have you done? Like, let's be honest, Chad, we gonna sit here and say Kamala didn't do shit, right? As a VP, borders are, she didn't do a motherfucking thing, man. What the fuck has JD done? Like, I'm not even trolling here, Chad, I'm not even trolling. Like, I'm dead ass. What the fuck has he done? I'm waiting. I mean, this shit is crazy.
I asked the American people to give me this job that I have right now. Why don't I do as good of a job as I can in this job? We'll worry about the next job sometime in the future.
Okay. Here's another person who may want a different job in the future and is definitely doing some reflection on how things went for her in Munich. Watch this.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
AOC, man, what the fuck? I seen this clip, chat. What's up with AOC and all of this stuttering, man? Fries, where are you? Is this your king? Your queen? And man, what's up with AOC, man, getting the stuttering, man? It's either you are or you aren't, man. And I'm going to tell you like this, man. Taiwan is fucked. I don't know if she wanted to spill the beans or not, man. Taiwan's probably going to have to rely on Japan and the Philippines, man. America's looking like they're about getting ready to tie their hands up with Iran right now. That's going to be the fucking excuse. Look, we're dealing with Iran right now. We ain't got time for Taiwan shit. We got the CHIPS Act. We already got the data centers going up. We fuck around, get Greenland. We got the chip factories in Arizona, man. Listen, Taiwan is screwed, AOC. You know it. I know it. Everybody else knows it, man. All of this stuttering, beating around the bush and shit, man. Why not say you were just going to go support them? Why not say it, AOC? If you knew without a doubt that we were going to go back up Taiwan, you would say it. But you know that they're not. You know that they're not. And if you get up here and say that we'll commit to doing all that and Taiwan gets taken and ain't shit going on, they'll drag that shit through the rest of your career. You know they're not finna help Taiwan. I know they're not finna help Taiwan. Shit's crazy.
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States.
Martha, you bring me
What's up, man?
The most uncomfortable 20 seconds of television
This is talking about this is a long-standing policy. We hope it doesn't get, man, tell the fucking truth. Tell the truth. You're not going to do shit. It's over with. Taiwan sacrificed. Chat, I'm not saying this to be like, oh, this is what we should do. I'm giving my honest analysis. Taiwan's fucked.
My takeaway from
What happened there? What do you think?
Well, I think it's a person who doesn't know what she actually thinks. And I've seen this way too much in Washington with politicians where they are given lines, and when you ask them to go outside the lines they were given, they completely fall apart because, look, does anybody really believe that AOC has very thoughtful ideas about the global world order or about what the United States should do with our policy in Asia or our policy in Europe? No, this is a person who is mouthing the slogans that somebody else gave her, and
I guess no one gave her one for that one.
I guess not, and it shows how thin the Democrats' policy actually is on.
Why the fuck the news anchor didn't ask him the question then? I want to know the vice president's answer.
All these very, very important questions. Look, that was embarrassing. If I had given that answer, I would say, you know what? Maybe I ought to go read a book about China and Taiwan before I go out on the world stage again. I hope that Congresswoman Cortez has the same humility. I'm skeptical.
All right, we're going to come right back. We'll talk about the midterms and what you're expecting when you look at that race. We'll be right back.
You heard what JD said. He low-key just said it, chat. Y'all got to read in between the lines. I would tell her to go read a book, right? And what book is she gonna read? It's gonna be a history book, and that history book's gonna tell her that China never stopped fucking claiming Taiwan, woman. So we're not gonna do a goddamn thing about it, man. China never stopped claiming them. He's saying it indirectly, man. Read between the lines, Chad. We're gonna do a motherfucking thing, man. This shit is crazy. AOC did all that damn stuttering, man.
Hello, Steve. Hello, everybody. So, great financial numbers you saw. Low inflation, very low inflation. prices are down, way down. Gasoline is less than $2 in many places, a gallon, which nobody expected to see, but I did, because we're going by the initial expression of drill, baby drill, and prices are coming down very strongly. And as goes gasoline and oil and gas, so goes the rest of other products that were high because of Biden. So we inherited a mess, and we've brought our country back very, very powerfully. Crime numbers are way down, despite the fact that they let in 25 million people, many of whom should not have been allowed into our country with their open border policy.
Listen, chat, the global uncertainty chart is at unprecedented highs. The uncertainty chart has never been this high, chat. Never been this high. This is higher than the pandemic. It's higher than all kind of shit, man. Let me pull it up right quick.
The country is doing very well. Any questions?
What are you expecting from these Iran talks in Geneva tomorrow?
So I'll be involved in those talks indirectly, and they'll be very important. We'll see what can happen. It's been typically Iran's a very tough negotiator. They're good negotiators, or bad negotiators. I would say they're bad negotiators, because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential, and we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. They want to make a deal.
I've been told that a deal is next to impossible.
No, I think they want to make a deal. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
Are you going to sit down with Democrats this week on DHS funding, sir?
I will, but we have to protect our law enforcement. They've done a great job. I just got finished saying that we have the best crime numbers we've had in many years, and on murders, 125 years, and that's despite a lot of people that shouldn't have been let into our country coming into our country, criminals, many, many criminals, but we've taken out tens of thousands of people, brought them back to their countries. Many of the criminals that were brought in, allowed to come in, have been removed, so we're okay. But to have the best crime numbers, which aren't made by me, these are made by people that do that, many left-leaning. We have the best murder numbers. Horrible thing to say, but we have the best murder numbers since 1900. That's before my father was born. 125 years, think of it. The best crime numbers since 1900, having to do with murder, and really good crime numbers, the best in years.
Are there any demands that Democrats are making that you're okay with?
Well, I don't like some of the things they're asking for. We're going to protect law enforcement. We're going to protect ICE. They're part of the whole system that is working. Washington, D.C. now is considered a very safe city. When I took over, it was a city that they were losing 2-3 people a week. Over 100 people a year were being murdered in Washington. Now it's considered a very safe city. And we did that. I did it over a fairly short period of time.
On DHS, recent news reports have discussed the widespread belief that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski are in a personal relationship. Is that a bad look? Recent news reports have discussed the possibility that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski are in a close personal relationship. Is that a bad look, and do you think she'll be in the job much longer?
I don't know about that. I mean, I haven't heard that. I'll find out about it, but I have not heard it.
Do you think that will you give your State of the Union speech if we're still under shutdown next week?
Well, I think I would. It wouldn't bother me. I would give it.
How are the negotiations going?
With what? Which one? We have a lot of negotiations.
No, with the government shutdown.
This is a Democrat shutdown. This has nothing to do with Republicans. This is a Democrat shutdown. They're upset that the crime numbers are so good. They're very unhappy that the crime numbers are so good. They're very unhappy that there's a movement for getting voter ID. They want voter ID. The population, 98%, want voter ID. They don't want voter ID because they want to cheat in elections. They also want other things. They don't want mail-in ballots. They want to end mail-in ballots, which is corrupt. And one other thing that they're insisting on is proof of citizenship. And the Democrats don't want to give proof of citizenship. They don't want to give voter ID. Think of it. Who wouldn't want proof?
What the fuck is Trump talking about?
Want to give proof of citizenship, mail-in ballots, which is corrupt. And one other thing that they're insisting, they don't want voter ID.
They just said they want to end mail-in ballots, which is corrupt. You want to end mail-in ballots, Trump? Oh, Trump might have had a long day, man. What the fuck is he talking about? They want to end mail-in ballots, which is corrupt. Didn't he just say the only people that can do mail-in ballots are like soldiers overseas or people who's sick? Isn't that part of the SAVE Act, ending mail-in ballots? What the fuck is he talking about, bro?
The population, 98%, want voter ID. They don't want voter ID because they want to cheat in elections. They also want other things. They don't want mail-in ballots. They want to end mail-in ballots, which is corrupt. And one other thing that they're insisting on is proof of citizenship. And the Democrats don't want to give proof of citizenship. They don't want to give voter ID. Think of it. Who wouldn't want proof of citizenship? I ask you, Steve. Who wouldn't want voter ID? And why would you want mail-in ballots if you know it's corrupt? It's a corrupt system. We're the only country in the world that has this system of mail-in ballots.
Now he cleaning it up. Now he cleaning it up.
Think of it. The only country in the world that has this system of mail-in ballots. Because they cheat. And the fact is they could never get elected if they ever change. They know it. If you had voter ID, if you had proof of...
So what they're saying is that if they're going to make it voter ID, they're talking about making it a passport. Now, if they make it a passport, that kind of directly ties into Marco Rubio, him being the Secretary of State. You know, they have the power to approve or disapprove passports. So theories are that they'll see how many people have passports and that they can, once you get there to show your passport, they can say, oh, your identity's been stolen, so we're going to have to put a hold on this. We don't know if it's really you or not. You know, certain things like that. I don't know, Chad. We'll have to get into that later.
Citizenship, they could never win an election. And they know that. And they're fighting to the hill. And I put this down with men playing in women's sports. I put it down with transgender for everybody. I put it down with their horrible open border policy as being ridiculous. They don't want voter ID. No voter ID. And I put that down in the same category with men playing in women's sports. I'm going to add a fourth category. They don't want voter ID. Go ahead.
So Hillary Clinton said in an interview today that she and her husband are getting pulled into the Epstein matter to divert attention from you and that your administration has something to hide. What's your response to that?
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. They went in hoping that they'd find it and found just the opposite. I've been totally exonerated. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was fighting that I don't get elected with some author, a sleazebag, by the way. And I've been totally exonerated.
So, Chad, how about this for a fucking loop, right? They've been looking and, somebody clip this. They've been looking and, the documents that they've released from the Epstein files, they haven't released any files directly leading up to and immediately after 9/11, right? So why is that whole time frame from, I believe, like 99 to after like 2002, 2003, like that whole time frame is just missing. Not a single document has came out about it. But in some of the documents that have came out, they said Ghislaine was on a shadow, whatever it is, shadow task, whatever, about a shadow commission, a 9/11 shadow commission. So they had shadow commissions about 9/11. Ghislaine Maxwell was getting invited to these meetings, and none of the Epstein files leading directly to 9/11, up to 9/11, or directly immediately after 9/11 have been released. Crazy.
No, they're getting pulled in, and that's their problem. I don't know, they're going to have to see what happens. But I watched her in Munich, and she seriously has Trump derangement syndrome. exonerated on Epstein. And it's really interesting because they've been pulled in. Think of it. They've been pulled in. Clinton and many other Democrats have been pulled in, yeah.
The USS Gerald Ford, which is sprinting from the Caribbean to the Middle East, is about to hit its 8-month deployment mark. Usually they're deployed for about 6 months or so. Is there any concern that U.S. carriers are being stretched too thin?
I'll answer the question.
Oh, chat, yeah, it's not a lot of people in here, so I thought I want to share this with y'all too. Your boy got that F off his record, man. Your boy got the F off his record. My damn record seal, it went through, man. Your boy got that F off his record, man. I'm just waiting to call my PO, my old PO. She ain't PO no more. I'm gonna call her ass and be like, hey, look, I get my guns back right now, don't I? Like, I get my guns back. Now, I know I'm going to have to wait for it to go through the federal database checks and all of that shit. But listen, Chad, got that F off my record, boy. I'm not a felon anymore. Kind of crazy, Chad. I feel like a little weight's lifted off of me, man. Them folks had me by the balls for a long time, bruh. A long time, man.
You're warning Cuba to make a deal. What does that deal look like? What do you want them to do?
Cuba is right now a failed nation, and they don't even have jet fuel to get for airplanes to take off. They're clogging up their runway. We're talking to Cuba right now. I have Marco Rubio talking to Cuba right now, and they should absolutely make a deal because it's really a humanitarian threat. And we have a lot of great Cuban Americans, and they're going to be very happy when they're going to be able to go back and say hello to their relatives and do things that they should have been allowed to do for a long time. I'm very interested in the people that are here that were treated so badly by Castro and the Cuban authorities. They have been treated horribly. So we'll see how it all turns out. But Cuba and us, we are talking. In the meantime, there's an embargo. There's no oil. There's no money.
Far as I see, you said she was asked, not that she was on an actual committee. Either way it go, we had shadow commission about 9/11 going, and Ghislaine Maxwell was in the fucking mix. Why? Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in the mix of a 9/11 shadow commission, and we have not gotten one single Epstein file document leading up to or immediately after 9/11? Man, shit's crazy.
If a deal isn't made, would you consider an operation like the one in Venezuela?
I don't want to answer that. Why would I answer that? If I was, it wouldn't be a very tough operation, as you can figure. But I don't think that'll be necessary.
Mr. President, Marco Rubio received really positive reviews in Munich. Is there a scenario in which you would support him at the top of the ticket in 28?
Something I don't have to worry about now. I've got 3 years to go. So it's something I don't have to worry. JD's fantastic and Marco's, they're both fantastic.
Start over.
And I think Marco did a great job in Munich.
President Xi, in your talk with him recently, warned about sending more weapons to Taiwan. What was your response there? Were you going to send more weapons to Taiwan?
I have a response. I'm talking to him about it. We had a good conversation, and we'll make a determination pretty soon.
Tell us about your trip.
We have a very good relationship with President Xi. In fact, I'll be going, I guess, in April.
I'm sorry. Tell us about your trip to Rome, Georgia on Thursday, your trip to Marjorie Taylor Greene's old district.
Well, we have a lot of people that want to take Marjorie Taylor Greene's place, and many candidates, and I have to choose one. And they say whoever I endorse is going to win, but we have a lot of good candidates who want to take her place.
So your Court of Peace meets for the first time this week. You said it could be the most consequential international organization ever. That's a high bar. What do you want for this first meeting?
Well, I think it can be. We're going to have all world leaders. They're putting up tremendous amounts of money, and I think it's going to go far beyond Gaza. I think it'll be peace all over the world, and we're working in conjunction with the United Nations. Look, the United Nations is there. They haven't lived up to potential. The United Nations has great potential. They haven't lived up to the potential, but I think they might aid us a little bit. But we have the greatest leaders in the world joining the Board of Peace, and we'll be doing it in conjunction with, in some cases, the United Nations, and see if we can get the United Nations to get on the ball.
You've been a kingmaker in a lot of Republican primaries. A lot of people,
Including foreign nations. I was very honored to see that a very wonderful prime minister in Japan won by a landslide. I think she was going to win, but she won by...
So I'm saying, like, when he says including in foreign nations, it's like, What if they have some fucking laws against that, Trump?
It's about the biggest vote ever in Japan, and she attributed my endorsement for that, and that's very good because we have a great relationship with her and Japan.
A lot of Republicans in D.C. are asking you to endorse John Cornyn, but you haven't yet. Is there a chance you would endorse Paxton, and why haven't you endorsed Cornyn?
I just haven't made a decision on that race yet. It's got a ways to go, and I haven't. He's a good man. John is a good. I like all three of them, actually. I like all three. Those are the toughest races. They've all supported me. They're all good, and you're supposed to pick one. So we'll see what happens. But I support all three.
Are you involved in the rift between UAE and Saudi Arabia?
No, I'm not. I would be. I would be. Well, I can settle it very easily. But they have they do indeed have a rift, and we can get it settled very easily. I settle wars. I settle a lot of rifts between countries. You've been noticing, right? That's an easy one to settle.
On Venezuela, Nancy Rodriguez last week said that Nicolas Maduro is still a legitimate president and is innocent. I know you said the relationship is a 10, but I'm curious what's your
I think
thoughts
we have
on
a
that?
great relationship. I think she probably has to say that. I think politically maybe she has to say that. But the relationship with Venezuela, she's doing a very good job. And I fully understand that statement.
You're going to have Ukraine talks tomorrow as well in Geneva with Witkoff and Jared Kushner. What are you expecting there? Is there
Well, they're big talks. It's going to be very easy. I mean, look, so far, Ukraine better come to the table fast. That's all I'm telling you.
Here we go.
We are in a position. We want them to come. And by the way, I watched AOC answering questions in Munich. This was not a good look for the United States. I watched Gavin Newsom answering questions in Munich, and this was a bad look for our country. This was a bad. These two people are incompetent, and at least Hillary's competent. She's just Trump deranged. She was so deranged. She is an angry woman. But I watched the other two speaking and answering basic questions. Look, Gavin has destroyed California, and AOC. I never heard her speak very much, and they started answering questions. She had no idea what was happening. She had no idea how to answer, very important questions concerning the world. But she can't answer questions concerning New York City either, because New York City has got some problems.
Now that Gaza's entering phase 2, should Israel lift its ban on foreign journalists being allowed into Gaza?
We'll be lifting a lot of bans pretty soon. I think you're going to see everything opening up. Gaza, look, we have peace in the Middle East.
What's so classified?
Some flames here and there. But we essentially have peace in the Middle East. And that happened primarily when we did the B-2 attack on the potential nuclear power. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 1 month. If that happened, it would have been a whole different deal. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
The $5 billion that you announced yesterday for the border peace, is that a down payment, or are you expecting more?
We want to help people. That's peanuts compared to the kind of money that has been spent in the Middle East by Bush, by Obama, by all of these people, by Biden. I mean, the money he spent. But the money he spent, that's such a small amount of money by comparison. But we want to make it successful. I think it has the chance to be the most consequential board ever assembled of any kind.
How was Paul for Ron DeSantis?
Great. We had a great time. We had Ron and a couple of other people, two great coaches, as you know. The two greatest coaches, I would say, certainly in college football. And we had a...
Hey, so we chilling here tonight, chat. It was a guy in some other country. He was recording his phone, and he was recording a Fox Live Now thing. He was recording a Fox Live Now thing, and it was backwards. You know how sometimes when you get the mirror effect, when you looking on your phone, it's mirrored. And when it said Live Now, it was backwards. So it said Evil One. And it just kept scrolling through like that. And he was like, oh my God, look at this fucking program. And it keeps scrolling through Evil One. Then it was saying War, because it was raw backwards. War, that shit was crazy.
Playing golf. Thank you very much. I didn't get to play today because I'm working on other things, very important things, much more important than golf. Thank you very much.
Melania for Valentine's, Mr. President?
She's on the plane. Melania's on the plane. is him. And she does a good job.
All right, let's get Trump the fuck up out of there, man. Let's get Trump the fuck up out of there. Let's get into this Hillary interview.
The former US presidential candidate Hillary Clinton says she believes Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and anyone with any information about the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein should testify before Congress. In a BBC interview, Mrs. Clinton also said she and her husband, Bill Clinton, want their forthcoming testimony about Epstein to be public. The couple had previously refused to testify to the Epstein inquiry and were threatened with contempt proceedings. Former President Bill Clinton appears several times in the Epstein files that were released by the US Justice Department last month. Mr. Clinton knew Epstein but has denied having any knowledge he was a sex offender and says he cut off contact with him 2 decades ago. Bill Clinton will appear in Congress for a deposition on the 27th of February and Hillary Clinton is set to appear the day before. Our Europe correspondent Jessica Parker sat down with Mrs. Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, thank you for talking to BBC News. I want to start off talking about the case of Jeffrey Epstein. You say you never met Jeffrey Epstein. Clearly your husband did know him. The former president says he knew him before his crimes came to light. But there are also associations with Ghislaine Maxwell, including in 2013 when she was a guest at a Clinton Global Initiative event, years after allegations had emerged against her. What I want to know is, do you regret the links that there have been between Epstein, Maxwell and the Clinton family?
Well, let me start by saying that a law was passed in Congress to require that all the files that have anything to do with them be released. And what we're seeing, I think it's fair to say, is a continuing cover-up by the Trump administration. In fact, when the Attorney General testified last week, it was quite a scene because she refused to answer questions, she diverted attention away from the matters at hand. She refused to look.
You said, is she okay? They do got her propped up in that chair, huh? She sure is propped up in that chair. She ain't doing too much moving.
The survivors. So there's something about this administration's attitude toward this, which I think really leads us to conclude they have something to hide. We don't. We have been willing to say whatever we know. We've even done it under oath. But they want us to testify, not everyone else who's mentioned many, many times, hundreds of thousands of times in these files. So we've said, fine, let us do it in public. And we will appear in public and we'll answer all your questions.
And we'll get to that in just a moment. But just to be clear, do you regret the links that there have been?
You know, we have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent. The survivors deserve that. The public deserves that. But, you know, the Republican member of Congress who is running this hearing or this investigation is trying to protect the president. So let's get to what's really at stake here.
Just on this hearing, and obviously I'm sure Donald Trump and his administration would reject your characterization of what's going on, and he's denied
How
any
can they
wrongdoing.
reject it? They can't answer questions, and the Attorney General was clearly unwilling to answer questions. She works for him. So let's be very clear here. According to what we now know, Mr. Trump, President Trump, is mentioned, some say, 1 million times in the files.
Hey, chat, be sure to hit the like button on your way in. If you in here rocking with me, say what's up, man. Let's hit the algorithm. Let's try to get some people in here, man. Say what's up in the chat, and make sure to hit the like button.
People in his cabinet are mentioned. That's what it says, you know, on the internet over and over again. So let's find out what the truth is. That's why we want it to be transparent and in public.
And on that, your upcoming appearance before the Oversight Committee, where are we with that? You want to appear in public versus closed-door deposition. Is it going ahead, and how? What is the format going to be?
We will show up, but we think it would be better to have it in public. Because what we want is for everybody to get to the facts about this. We have nothing to hide. We have called for the full release of these files repeatedly. We think sunlight is the best disinfectant. Get the files out. They are slow walking it. They are redacting the names of men who are in it. They are stonewalling legitimate requests from members of Congress. That has nothing to do with us. Something is going on. They know it. I know it. If they're going to...
It got a lot to do with 9/11 too, man. And she's probably saying that shit because they know they done passed the buck off the bush, man. It's a lot of crazy shit, but we got to realize that it doesn't get too much more crazier than the shit we've seen, unless it's on the conspiracy. I ain't gonna say conspiracy, unless it's on the conspiring tip. You know, like RICO type shit, like shadow government shit being exposed. But other than like the horrific shit, I think we've seen bioengineer shit. We've seen allegedly vaccine shit. We've seen them hunting humans, niggas. We've seen beef jerky, human meat. We've seen genetically engineered babies and modification talks. We've seen the Bitcoin creator. We've seen a lot of crazy and horrific shit, man. I think the 9/11 is the big holdup, man. I think 9/11 is the big holdup.
Testify. I would prefer to do it in public because I want everybody to see it at the same time. If I have to do it behind closed doors, they're not going to like what I have to say because I have very strong opinions about what it is they're hiding and who they are protecting.
I just want to ask you...
I want to show y'all the chart. I'm going to pull up the chart here in a minute, like that shows you all the years of the Epstein files that they've released. Like they just completely skipped the years of 9/11, bro.
There are calls for another individual who denies wrongdoing to go before Congress on this matter. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Do you think he should testify?
I think everybody should testify.
Well, including the former prince?
I think everybody should testify who is asked to testify. I just want it to be fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why did they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated. This is so obvious, and they keep trying to divert. Look at this shiny object. We're going to have the Clintons, even Hillary Clinton, who never met the guy. We're going to have her there. Let's focus on what's really happening here. You have an Attorney General and a Justice Department attempting to hide information that should be made public.
I just want to ask you, though, because, as many people have said, being in the Epstein files does not mean that you've done anything wrong. But speaking for yourself and for your family, what was your reaction when you saw some of the material that has been released? I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub.
All right, chat, so this is what I got right here. It says the DOJ identified 6 million plus pages. So far, we have 3 million pages that are withheld or redacted. It's showing that the gap that they released not many Epstein files from 95 through 98. It wasn't many. Leading up to 98, like right at 98, that year, it shoots up. So I guess that's when Epstein started getting active or they started tracking them. But from the year 1999 to 2001, they have not released a single document. There's 25,000 missing serial numbers from 1999 to 2001, and then they start back in 02. Here, I'll pull up the damn chart, bro. I'm just gonna pull up the chart. I'll pull up that video in a second. Nobody's seen this shit yet, bro. Like, nobody's really on this. It's crazy. Not that this shit's crazy, bro. Breaking fucking news, man. This shit's crazy, bro. Alright, so that's the chart, chat. That's the gap right there. There are 25,000 missing serial numbers. Hold on, let me go to the actual, go back. A lot of people are responding saying, what's in the remaining Epstein files is proof that our government did 9/11. That's why they're not getting released. They've already released proof that satanic pedophile cult eat babies. We already know that. That's what Pam Bondi meant when she said it would bring the whole government to its knees. Yeah, that's what Pam Bondi meant when she said it would bring the whole government to its knees. It's right there. The missing documents are from 99 to 2001, man. That is the proof that a lot of people have been waiting on for years and years, in my opinion. In my opinion, that is the proof lies within those 25,000 missing serial numbers, man. The cold, hard proof, man. It's crazy. But yeah, keep your eyes out on that, chat. Keep your eyes out on that missing 25,000 documents. As more creators start to talk about this, I'm early. I know I'm early because I do my fucking research. I get into the nooks and crannies and see what the fuck's going on. But as this becomes more noted and more creators start talking about this, the interviewers are going to start questioning this administration about this. So before, we've seen how these questions eventually lead to some answers over the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 months. They keep pressing those same questions. Eventually, they just throw some shit out there like, all right, we'll give them this, give them that. Well, right now, nobody's asking like, hey, why aren't you releasing any documents from 99 and 2001? Inside of this gap. Maybe they'll be like, oh, we released a couple from 2000. No, we need it inside of this gap right here. Where's the shit that's in this gap right here? And as more people start pushing this issue and those reporters get up there and start asking these people, and Congress gets a hold of this, the Democrats get a hold of this, the new guard, not the old Democrats that's been around for a while, the new guard, the new Democrats that are in Congress that are very, very outspoken and shit, that's when the pressure's going to be on, chat. Keep your eyes out on that.
The former U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton says she believes Andrew Malcolm.
We have called for the full release of these files repeatedly. We think sunlight is the best disinfectant. Get the files out. They are slow walking it. They are redacting the names of men who are in it. They are stonewalling legitimate requests from members of Congress. That has nothing to do with us. Something is going on. They know it. I know it. If they're going to have me testify, I would prefer to do it in public because I want everybody to see it at the same time. If I have to do it behind closed doors, they're not going to like what I have to say. Because
I'm going to say this. You said it's possible that names are still redacted due to having active investigations. What I'm going to say is this. There's no way that 25,000 concurrent pages are just fucking missing and it's all names. Like, do you think the list is that long? There's 25,000 pages of just victims' name or names and shit that's active investigation? I think that's a cop-out, man. There's no way. 25,000 pages. I just showed you the chart, man, the data, man. Keep your eyes out on it, man. There's no way. Ongoing investigation for what? What ongoing investigation from 99 to 2001 is still going on?
Have very strong opinions about what it is they're hiding and who they are protecting.
I just want to ask you, there are calls for another individual who denies wrongdoing to go before Congress on this matter. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Do you think he should testify?
I think everybody should testify. Look,
including the former prince?
I think everybody should testify who is asked to testify. I just want it to be fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me, because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why do they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated. This is so obvious, and they keep trying to divert. Look at this shiny object. We're going to have the Clintons, even Hillary Clinton, who never met the guy. We're going to have her there. Let's focus on what's really happening here. You have an Attorney General and a Justice Department attempting to hide information that should be made public.
I just want to ask you, though, because, as many people have said, being in the Epstein files does not mean that you've done anything wrong. But speaking for yourself and for your family, what was your reaction when you saw some of the material that has been released? I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub in a swimming pool on Epstein's plane. What was your reaction to that? And do you know the context surrounding some of those images?
Absolutely. And it wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein. So it was a short period of time that was in pursuit of charitable philanthropic work. A lot of people were traveling at the same time. Many staff members, guests, other supporters of the foundation. If Bill and I had a penny for every person we've taken pictures with, we would be extremely rich today.
Y'all are extremely rich today. The hell are you talking about, Hillary Clinton? That's why he's worth 120 million, bro. Talking about we be extremely rich today. And Bill worth, yeah, they say together Bill and Hillary worth 120 million.
Let's move on to what we're seeing. We've just come from the Munich Security Conference, and a lot of people are talking about the idea of a new world order. I'm interested in your thoughts. In terms of transatlantic relations between Europe and the United States, do you think they have permanently shifted? There is no going back to the way things were before?
Well, I think time will tell whether we are going to support the rule of law, support the strong alliances that were forged through and after World War II, create an area of peace and security in the transatlantic or not. And as I said in Munich, I think that comes down to whether or not the people in America turn out, Donald Trump and Republicans, who are more concerned about Putin than they are about democracy, and whether Europe stands against efforts to undermine the ties amongst European nations in favor of the rule of law, in favor of peace and security, and against Putin. So I'm hoping that the answers are the right answers. I'm hoping that people in Europe and people in the United States will stand up for universal values that have actually protected our peace and security now for more than 80 years.
When you look at the United States, would you still say it is a country that can be seen as the leader of the free world?
Well, it appears that Donald Trump wants to be the leader, but not necessarily of a free world. He is very enamored of Vladimir Putin, who is a dictator, brutal
He's also criticized
dictator.
him at times.
Donald Trump has never criticized Putin. You can go
His
back.
handling of
No,
Ukraine.
you can go back and look, because many of us have done it. looking for one moment. You know, he said, come on, he needs to solve this. He needs to. And what do we now hear? That he and Putin want to profit off the death and misery of the Ukrainian people. So is that
What's
a
up,
leader?
Marvin?
Well, I suppose if you count it in terms of military power, we are still the leader, but are we the leader in values? Are we the leader in bringing people together? Are we the leader in trying to create hope and opportunity? I think that's an open question.
But Donald Trump's pressure has led.
Man, listen, Friars, I don't know about that. You said XX Epstein was not with the three-letter agency. He was with the other one. He had a lot of intelligence connections to the Saudis. Man, Epstein was on his own shit, man. He was on his own shit. He worked with the three-letter agency that you named, I believe. I believe he worked with MI6, MI5, whatever the hell it is, man. I believe he worked with the African government. He worked with, I believe, the Saudis, and I believe he worked at home. He was at DEF CON, remember? It came out in the files. He was at DEF CON buying those 0-point hacks. He was selling those 0-point hacks to every fucking body, bruh. He was selling those 0-point hacks to everybody, man.
To Europe spending more on defence, including here in Germany, which is something Americans have wanted for a long time. So would you actually count that as a success?
Well, there was a lot of pressure on the Europeans from previous presidents, and
That's what I'm saying. So, like, maybe he wasn't just working with them. He was a quintuple agent, whatever, man. He was a mercenary. Let's just call it what the fuck it is, man. He was a damn mercenary, man. He was going to the highest fucking bidder, bruh. Going to the highest bidder for everything. Whether you wanted a 0-point hack, some damn kids, some human meat, blackmail, some fine art, whatever the fuck you wanted, man.
Putting in Trump's first term. And I think the real credit for that goes to Vladimir Putin. I think Vladimir Putin's aggressive behavior, starting with Georgia, Crimea, and then the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, has woken up the Europeans, unlike anything anybody else could ever tell them. Obviously, Trump has, pushed that. But it's the Europeans who finally have realized that Vladimir Putin is attempting to undermine European security, and left to his own devices, I believe, along with many other security experts, will threaten the independence of the Baltic states, Poland, and elsewhere. So this is not just rhetorical push from the American president. This is the cold reality that here in the 21st century, we are dealing with a dictator who wants to dominate and control not just Ukraine, but Europe.
My final question is on artificial intelligence. You believe that this should be regulated more firmly. How can that be done when you're looking at a kind of patchwork potentially of regulation across the globe?
I think if we don't regulate it, we will wake up as we are now with social media and regret it deeply. I think social media has had a very negative effect on our children. We have evidence of that. Evidence, sadly, that comes mostly from the tech companies, because they follow very closely how to keep our kids addicted to social media. I applaud Macron in France. I applaud Sanchez in Spain, Australia, and others who have woken up to the danger social media poses. It also undermines democracy because it undermines trust, it undermines unity, it undermines common effort, and I think it will be on steroids with artificial intelligence.
How can artificial intelligence,
well,
if that's what you think should happen, how can that be done on a global scale?
Because, look at...
do you need like a UN-type body to do that?
Well, it has to start with individual nations, as they are now with social media. But remember, the European Union is the only serious regulator of technology in the world right now.
And you disagree with somebody who's view that that's very onerous, the regulation?
When we first started talking about putting seatbelts into cars, because we had so many deaths from car accidents, the car makers complained, drivers complained, everybody complained. Who wants to have these straps over our body? We should be free in our cars. And the regulators said, we're going to save lives. Now, I don't think Elon Musk should determine the future of either our children or civilization. Of course he doesn't like it. But the Digital Services Act that the European Union passed is the only comprehensive effort to try to rein it in. Now we're looking at artificial intelligence, where even some of the creators of this new phenomenon have no idea what it's going to do to us. They know it's going to cost jobs. They know that it's going to kind of mess with people's heads through delusion and hallucination and all the rest that we already see happening. But they don't know whether it's actually going to control our institutions. Can it take over our air traffic control system? Can it take over our electric grid? Can it do further damage to our democracy and our ability to, really govern ourselves? We don't know the answers to that. And people who were at the birth of artificial intelligence, like Jeffrey Hinton and others, who were among the original creators, are all saying, wait a minute, slow down. This is not just a big technological change. This is an existential change in how human beings are going to be treated and treat each other and what's going to happen to us. So I think it's a terrible example of negligence not to try to get into it and understand it better and require the tech companies to help us figure out what is the best way to make sure that the worst of artificial intelligence doesn't happen.
All right, Chad. That's the end of that, man. I got the phone lines open. We're gonna take some calls. I was gonna get into that Sneako debate, but I think I want to switch to live. I think I want to do like a regular live, like the landscape live, to watch that debate, so I can like get some reaction with clips. So what I'm gonna do is take some calls.
Hey, this next.
Hey, next, I'm gonna call you right back, man. The damn phone line messed up. I'm gonna call you right back. Damn, chat. Y'all give me a